Good morning, Barbara.
Good morning, Luca.
Thanks for being here and thanks for participating in the Body Language Exhibition 2022.
I am thrilled. Thank you so much for inviting me to beautiful Venice and this incredible location.
You are welcome.
And being able to do two installations in this incredible room, which works for sound, which works for everything.
Yes, today we are presenting, in fact, and we will open in the afternoon this exhibition with an installation and a dual channel video that you are presenting in this exhibition, and now you will explain more about it. We are in Palazzo Bembo, in the city center of Venice, on the Grand Canal, and we are close to Rialto Bridge, and it's a great honor to have you here. I would like to introduce you and a little bit more about your work.
So I came to study in New York when I was younger, and went to film school and later went to art school, and I never left. But it's a wonderful place for me to live and to work, because it is full of cultures, different people from all over the place, and it's a city which never is still. So it's nearly impossible to not keep moving with your thoughts, with your perception of the world. It's a constant, forced upon you, constant readapting, and I think that has a great influence in many ways on my work. And
I'm sure that New York City added something new in your vision.
Yeah, I would say that what most influences my work is probably my long-standing fascination with perception and with memory.
Okay.
And so New York is a fantastic place, and so is Italy, to always reimagine, not only in different times how things are perceived, but in the moment how we perceive things differently in different states of minds, and how the consciousness is dictated really by this enormous memory space we have, and it's the source of how we interpret things in life.
Exactly.
And so I was always very fascinated to use to turn to art and to express, to actually explore these questions of perception, of memory, and really of trauma, because when we think about it, trauma is memory. Without a memory is no trauma. We need memory, or we have memory, and memory is at the same time not ever still standing. It's like time. Whenever we remember something and forget it again and maybe remember it the next time, it will be always a different story, a little bit, in context with whatever in the moment is going on. So it really fascinates me to address these and to question, as a viewer, to think about our own perception and how much that is part of a lineage, a part of the culture we're surrounding ourselves with, part of where we live, where we grow up. It is how we perceive the world, and I think it's a very interesting, for me, extremely interesting way to reimagine also societies, reimagine politics, with the awareness that however we feel about things has deep rooted in things that we might look at differently tomorrow.
What about the works you are presenting in this exhibition, the installation and the dual channel video?
So for the installation, let's start with this.
Yes.
Here. This is a two-channel video sound art piece that I made 2 years ago, or perceived 2 years ago, and then developed it over time. And it addresses, for me, it addresses the aspects of disembodiment, which doesn't have to be a physical thing, of the idea that we leave our mind and come back And as an extreme form, I experienced that when I was in a coma about 16 years ago for a while, and came back, and luckily, but had no memory left and had to regain the memory.
You restarted from zero? From
zero, but you don't really. It's a little bit like your computer crashes. You do get chunks back, right? It's not, you don't have to relive it all. But what was interesting for me was later the awareness that these states of mind, where we actually in a different, our mind is in something else, so we step in and out, and we have the feeling of being here, but at the same time we're also living in the past or in the fear of the future. And being in the present is really the hardest, because it means you facing whatever it is, and you can't be happy it's in the back, but you can also not say, oh, maybe in the future is different than my biggest fear. It is. And this it is, and this walking in our mind between these liminal spaces of the here and the past, or the here and the possible future, and that it is something that is ongoing, and it's constantly really evolving around the idea of trauma, of whatever we have experienced.
It's related, as you say, with the time, to the time concept, because you stop in that moment, or you suspend, to be honest. It's not stopped, it's something like floating during the time, not in time.
Beautiful, yes. And there's also, I'm always interested in the awareness of how our different senses perceive, are used for perception. So the reason I have sound, I composed 2 separate sound pieces for these 2 separately running performances.
Okay.
And they are not synced, so they're not the same time zone. So the concept was and is that the same moment will never come back.
Yes.
Which is very much what memory is.
And the dual channel is the dual times that are running together in this time.
And it will never sync entirely.
Yes.
But it also will never stop. And we will never experience it the exactly same way again.
Wow.
Which is this awareness of presence. It's now, and it will, whatever we remember is in an altered version. And next time it will also be an altered version. And this awareness of the concept of time and space, and that it is a concept that is not really related to memory. Memory doesn't have a linear pattern.
No.
It doesn't have a concept of time and space.
No.
So the time and space concept is really what is an aspect of the presence only. Future doesn't have time and space, past definite time and space. And this playing with time and space in order to get the viewer in this feeling of this liminal space between that which we are here now, I find extremely fascinating.
It is.
And the other aspect,
and you are the performer inside the videos.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And the sound is interesting for me because the brain, sound is a primal instinct. It's a primal source of information that bypasses the cognitive brain and goes directly into the emotional brain.
Yeah.
So the reason I use a lot of also sound art compositions is that that the awareness that what we visually process is very much dependent on what we hear while we see something. That is true every day, that is true when we're here in this room. If there would be music playing next door, it would be a different emotional feeling. So the awareness that not only do we see something in every second differently and perceive it, it's also in what context. And that sound is really one of the major ways to access this emotional feeling of time and space.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for this conversation and for coming from New York, first of all. So
anybody would for Venice.
Yeah, but in these hard times, yes. Thank you, and for bringing your experience and your heart here in Venice. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
I feel very honored, and thank you so much for your wonderful welcome, how inclusive, and and how much this show actually is a wonderful experience for the artist, because it's artists from all over the world. So unlike in your own normal hometown, the people don't really come from all over the world, they actually live all over the world. So that's a wonderful matching feeling to what I'm trying to explore.
Thank you again.